Joining me is Jeff Moon. He's the president of China-Moon Strategies, a consulting firm specialising on China-U.S. relations. Thank you so much for speaking with us today on the cusp of Secretary Blinken's arrival in Beijing. Now, Mr. Blinken's visit includes meetings with China's top foreign policy officials. What will likely be on the agenda?
Well, there'll be a range of things. The U.S. priority is to stabilize relations by starting regular communication on a wide variety of issues. The issues that fall within Tony Blinken's portfolio as Secretary of State would include things like climate change and maybe areas where we can cooperate, other areas we can cooperate, public health, North Korea, Ukraine will probably come up, retaliation against American businesses in China will come up, detained Americans, fentanyl, and human rights. On the Chinese side, Taiwan is always the top priority, so I assume that will be the kickoff topic. There is also going to be trade, export controls, U.S. alliances to counter Chinese coercion will probably come up. And then another topic is congressional legislation that discusses Taiwan is something that usually comes up as well.
And there's no word yet on whether he'll also meet with Chinese President Xi Jinping, but Biden did say in Philadelphia today that he would like to meet with Xi. How likely is it that the two most powerful leaders in the world will meet?
Well, I think this is one of the major questions about the visit, whether Tony Blinken will meet with Xi. I think that it would be a positive sign if he does. I think in the U.S. that would be perceived as a snub if he doesn't. There's a very high possibility, if China wants to, of a Biden-Xi meeting because APEC this year is being hosted by the United States, and there is a major APEC meeting in November. So that Xi could attend that meeting and there could be a Biden-Xi meeting at that time. And this is one of the things that I'm hoping will come up and one of the positive outcomes that could come out of this visit.
Now, the business relationship between the US and China is one of the most important. Xi met with Bill Gates on Friday and Elon Musk last month. What did these meetings establish and what message is Xi trying to send?
Well, Chinese leaders are not generally open to meeting with foreign businessmen. They tend to be more receptive to meetings during times when there may be bilateral tensions or whether there are economic concerns in China. And I think the purpose of these meetings was to reassure foreign businesses who may feel a little bit nervous about the current political and economic situation in China. And to a certain extent, the Chinese may be trying to divide the business community from the US government, which I don't think will be very successful.
Now, the two global superpowers, of course, have a fairly good list of issues that concern them, including high-profile disagreements as well as potential areas of cooperation. So what do you think the main obstacles are in trying to stabilize relations right now?
I think it's really distrust. Very deep distrust between the two sides is the major problem. I think also on the Chinese side, as I said, Taiwan is always a top priority for the Chinese. And the Chinese in recent months have been reluctant to meet with their American counterparts. China's used this tactic many times over the decades with the hope that Americans will moderate their supposedly offensive behavior and maybe even offer concessions. So I think that China has now decided to come back to the table and hopefully to reestablish regular relations. After all, it's been 5 years since a U.S. Secretary of State has visited China. It's about time to get things back working and to work very hard to prevent any misunderstandings.
All right, Jeff Moon, thank you very much for your insight this evening.
Thank you.